Hi, I'm Emily Tatak and welcome to Wilton's live Cupcake Decorating Designs event on YouTube. Today I'm here to show you 5 different buttercream cupcakes, each showcasing a different technique and a different tip you might not think to use when decorating your cupcakes. When I think of buttercream cupcakes, and I think when a lot of people think about buttercream cupcakes, they think about the 1M swirl. It's beautiful, it's classic, and it's always a crowd pleaser. But there's so many other ways you can decorate your cupcakes, and today I'm going to show you 5 different ways. So let's get started with this beautiful little orange cupcake. This is called the Ribbon Rose. You are going to need stiff consistency buttercream and the petal decorating tip number 125. So to begin, you're going top until the ribbon of icing overlaps itself. Continue squeezing with even and consistent pressure. Angle the narrow end of the tip slightly up as you rotate the cupcake to pipe the next row of flowers. If you can do the entire top of the cupcake without breaking your ribbon, that's great. But if your piping hand needs a break or you feel that your pressure control is changing, stop squeezing and lift the tip away. Continue rotating the cupcake slightly so the rows of petals stop and start at different places for a more realistic effect. Reposition your bag with the wide end of the tip down and touching the cupcake directly adjacent to the previous row. Narrow end of your tip angled out slightly. With consistent pressure, pipe additional rows. Continue piping rows until the top of your cupcake is completely covered. If you want a fuller look, angle the narrow end of the tip outward slightly as you begin to get further towards the edge of the cupcake. Now isn't that beautiful? The next one we're going to do is the teardrop technique. It's very simple. It's done with, again, medium consistency buttercream and round tip number 12. So to do this technique, you're going to begin by holding the decorating bag at a 45-degree angle at 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock for left-handed decorators. The tip slightly above the surface of the cupcake to start. Squeeze the decorating bag as you lift your hand, raising the tip slightly so the icing fans out. Relax pressure as you draw the tip towards the center of the cupcake. Stop squeezing and pull away. Continue piping beads all the way around your cupcake until the entire top of the cupcake is covered, just like this. You just want to squeeze and pull until the entire top is covered. And then we're going to move on to the second row. So to make the second row of beads, you're going to hold the decorating bag at a 45-degree angle at 3 o'clock, again 9 o'clock for left-handed decorators, and position the tip slightly above the surface of the icing, about halfway between the center and the edge of your cupcake. Squeeze to pipe beads as you did in the first layer, and rotate the cupcake as needed to pipe the circle of beads. Once you're finished, dip your fingertip into cornstarch and pat down any points in the center of the cupcake to finish it off. And doesn't that look great? Super easy. So from here, we're going to go on to this little green cupcake over here. This is called the leaf technique and is done with the leaf tip, number 366, and some medium consistency buttercream thinned out with 1 teaspoon of piping gel per cup of icing. So to do this cupcake, you're going to begin by holding the decorating bag at a 45-degree angle at 3 o'clock, the tip lightly touching the surface. The points of the tip should line up vertically, 1 point touching the cake surface and 1 point facing up. Squeeze hard to build up the base while lifting the tip slightly. Relax pressure as you pull the tip outward toward the edge of the cupcake, drawing the leaf to a point. Stop squeezing and lift the tip away. Relax pressure as you pull the tip outward towards the edge. Continue piping leaves until the first row is done. To make the next row, position the tip inside the first circle of leaves. Lift the tip slightly so it is slightly higher than 45 degrees. This will make this row of leaves stand up a bit higher than they did in the first row. Pipe leaves all the way around the circle just as you did in the first row. Finish up by raising the tip even higher, almost to a 90-degree angle, to pipe the few last leaves on top. This one's one of my favorite because it's a leaf tip that I never ever use, but the cupcakes look so fun and people love them. So the next one we're going to do is this purple one right here. This is called the Bright Bouquet, and this is actually done with the 1M, just like the 1M swirl, but it's a little different. You're going to need medium consistency buttercream and the 1M tip. So to begin, you're going to hold your bag at a 90-degree angle to the surface of the cupcake. Squeeze out icing to form a star. Without releasing pressure, raise the tip slightly as you drop a line of icing on top of the cupcake to form a star. Imagine going counterclockwise on a clock, starting at 3 o'clock and moving in a circular motion. Continue to 12 o'clock, then around to 9 o'clock, and then to 6 o'clock. When you get to 6 o'clock, continue the circular motion of your tip, but relax the pressure as you go so the icing trails off, forming a tail, and then stops back at 3 o'clock. Rotate the cupcake and pipe another rosette. You may need to clean your tip between rosettes so they will pipe cleanly. Continue until the entire cupcake is covered. For the center rosette, hold the decorating bag at a 90-degree angle on top of the cupcake and pipe the rosette just as you did the other ones on the sides. And the last technique is called the fluffy flower technique, which is this guy right here, this pink cupcake. This is done with medium consistency buttercream and a petal tip number 104. So to make this cupcake, you're going to begin by holding the decorating bag at a 90-degree angle you're going to hold the decorating bag at a 45-degree angle at 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock for the left-handed decorators, with the wide end of the tip lightly touching the surface of the cupcake and the narrow end facing down and away from the surface. Keeping the wide end of the tip against the cupcake, begin to squeeze with consistent pressure while rotating the cupcake. Move your wrist up, out, and back down in slight movements to ruffle the icing. Continue until the entire perimeter of your cupcake is complete. As you complete the first row, continue piping but raise the tip a bit higher than 45 degrees so the next row of ruffles stands up a bit higher. Continue rotating and piping the ruffles in a circle. To get the top of the ruffles, you're going to continue squeezing and going again up, down, back and forth. For this look, the spacing of the ruffle is inconsistent, so your wrist movements should also be somewhat inconsistent. For example, vary the length of the time you squeeze the bag or rotate the cupcake, then return your wrist to its starting position. This will create ruffles in different lengths. And there you have it. There are 5 beautiful and fun buttercream techniques that you can do on any kind of cupcake for any kind of event. I hope you enjoyed yourself. For more tips, techniques, and inspiration, visit wilton.com. Thanks for watching.